Hello, everyone, and welcome to yet another exciting episode of New Generation Youth on the Move, organized by Women in Management in collaboration with Daily Mirror Online. So, today we have with us a very interesting person, a very interesting youth, Kasun Sigera. He's into business and he's into road track, sports, you name it, he's into it. So, we'll obviously get to know more about him as we go along. So let me introduce to Kasun Sigera. So Kasun, why don't you begin by introducing yourself to us?
Thank you very much, Bevan. It's an honor and a pleasure to be here. So talking about me, in a nutshell, I'm Kavindra Sigera, currently working as a manager international business at Hema's Manufacturing PLC, and also currently leading the largest non-aligned youth movement in the country with over 8,000 members, that is Rotaract Sri Lanka and Maldives. On top of it, I'm someone who has taken a lot of passion and pride in being a news anchor and a TV presenter for Sri Lanka Rupahani Corporation and Channel I. On top of it, my biggest passion lies in traveling, and which is why I, of course, chose international business as my field of work. I enjoy seeing people, I enjoy getting to know new cultures, new countries and their different cultural traits. So I'm a traveler and I love hiking. So in a nutshell, that is what me is all about. And I've done a little bit of sports. I represented Sri Lanka in under 19 national hockey team, which went on to be in the top few ranks of Asia Cup, Junior Asia Cup that was held in Yangon, Myanmar in 2009. So that's a little bit about me.
Oh, that's very interesting. So why don't you tell us a bit more about your school days and like you playing hockey and what the award did to you? Like, did it change you or like what's your outcome from that?
So I'm more of a rebel when it comes to. I was actually a rebel when it comes to my school days. I used to pretty much take part in everything. Clubs and societies, and then when it comes to prefectship and then also sports. So I quite well did my studies as well. And then, like you said, I captained the under 19 first 11 hockey team of the school as well. And that is the same time period that I went on to represent Sri Lanka. And on top of it, I did pretty much well in my O-levels and then slightly did okay, I would say okay in A-levels, and did quite well when it comes to balancing between work and so like I said, I was not one of these average students who would spend a lot of time in my classroom. I think teachers kind of did not like that fact. Of course, there were many instances where my parents had to hear a little bit from them because I was never there at the classrooms. But I always enjoyed doing different things and I liked seeing change around me. I didn't want to always become a conventional student who was having one pathway. So yeah, I did a little bit of everything there. And obviously when it comes to the youth award, it did give me a sudden boost, sudden energy, and it wanted me to be. It kind of helped me to be a better person and to have a more beautiful perception about life and the youth in a different perspective.
Wow, that's great. So why don't we move into leadership? So you being the person who you are today, like personality-wise, and being a leader. So I heard that you are leading one of the most famous Rotary clubs in Sri Lanka as well. So would you say that it's because of your school background or is it because of your personality that you have come to this stage, come this far?
So before I answer that, Bevan, it's primarily I think it's because of who I am. Because I have been someone who has struggled through life and who have come to the person I am. So I'm comfortable with anything and everyone. So because of that, I think I'm more able to relate to people. Now, when you take Rotaract for that matter, we have 8,100 members, and that is spread across all parts of the country. So different demographics, different economic backgrounds, different cultural backgrounds. One thing I've seen is that with my ability to be with them, to learn from them, and I'm someone who learns from pretty much everyone. So because of that capability, I think I've been able to become a leader, or I would say to be seen as a leader who is there with people always. So with that capability, I've always had the understanding that people are different. My perception about life is different. Another person's perception about life is different, and their skills, their talents, it's very very diversified. So I'll give one example. When you go outside Colombo, the talent that is there in different parts of the country, the talents that we have not probably would have seen, it's just tremendous. The youth of this country is a blessing, honestly, right? If there is some greater hope for the country, it is always the youth. So when you see this diversified talent in different parts of the country, it just motivates you so much to do better. And I think when it comes to Rotaract, that is my biggest inspiration. My members is my biggest inspiration, and the way I see how our membership, how our projects, how our initiatives brings about so many different positive impacts to the society. May it be helping another person to live a day better, may it be helping a person to I would say to get their next meal, or even helping another person to battle through a disease, or giving that energy in different communities to marginalized communities to do better. Whether you are HIV affected, whether you are affected by certain other social or cultural trait, the energy that our membership and our initiatives give all around the country is my biggest inspiration. So I think that inspiration inspires me to be better, and as a trickle down effect, it probably inspires the people around me and my members and maybe the youth that I associate to do better. So
yeah, so that's great. So continuing on what exactly you said just now, so you have seen so many youth who have many talents, especially in the rural areas, not just in Colombo. So what would your message be to them, or how do you think that they should tackle this whole rural and urbanization thing, where they can come out from wherever they are, whether it be Anuradhapura or in the most remote areas? What would your message be for them to come out as a person, bringing out their talents and showing it to Sri Lanka or even globally on a global platform?
So first and foremost, I'll try approaching it in individual perspective.
Okay.
Look, all of us have different capabilities. We have different talents. First of all, we need to identify what are we really, really passionate about. What do we really like to do in our lives, and what is our capabilities for that. So as a person, first of all, we have to identify that. And then when you know these are your strengths, when you know these are the opportunities that are there, you have to make a match. And then you have to obviously back yourself always. There are enough days that you will feel that you want to quit because it's not worth it. The struggles are not worth it. The challenges are not worth it. Everything is going against you. But you really, really need to pull your socks up and you say, okay, look, I got to do it. And if there's anyone who can do it, it's me. So first of all, you have to believe in yourself. Second thing is, I think we have to always be proud about where we are from. This beautiful country of Sri Lanka, it's a gem of a nation. Every single time that I travel outside Sri Lanka, I always question myself, look, we have so much of potential. We have the best beaches, we have the best people, we have the best hospitality, we have the best intellectual capacity, and there is so much of diversified talents, like I mentioned before, out there. Why haven't we actually reached our potential? So I think the next step as an individual is you need to define where do you want to compete. In my opinion, my competition has always been about myself, how best I can do to take the name of Sri Lanka, outside the country, and showcase the beauty and the talents of this country. So that has always been my motivating factor. So I've done that, and that is exactly what I think the youth of our country needs to do. Take pride in being who you are. Take pride in the fact that you are Sri Lankan. Take pride in the fact that you have battled so many challenges, and that energy that you have gathered, that experience you have gathered, you can collectively put in together to become a better version of you who can obviously make Sri Lanka proud in some day.
Wow, so that was a very interesting approach and a very positive approach from you about our nation. So, looking into that further, like, what do you think? Like, I mean, we spoke before also, and we came to this conclusion where people think of in a bad way and in a very negative way. But like, what would you say to these people to make look at it in a more positive way and take a more positive turn of it and look at these negative things in a more positive way and change it around?
So we all have different perspectives of how we look at problems. So if I were to categorize the type of people that we have in our lives, we have the first set who will always look at a problem and whine and fuss and make a living mess out of it. And then there's a second set of people who will know that it is a problem and who will convert that problem into an opportunity and who will find a solution for it, right? So even in office space, we have different people who will say, no, make a karanna bad, we can't do this. And then there will be another person who will come on board and say, okay, සමහරවිට මේක මේ විදිහට කරන්න පුළුවන් මේක හරියයි මේකට, right? So we will obviously like to take on the second approach, right? Because second approach is challenging, second approach is might need hard work and it will obviously test you. So I think the first trait that we might want to look into is to see all the problems that we see. We might have to look at those problems in a positive perspective, right? Every challenge that we come across in life is an opportunity for you to do better than the current status quo. So I suggest that we look at those challenges as an opportunity and then we have a positive feeling about it, because if we do not motivate ourselves to look at it in a positive manner, the people around you, people who are depending on you, people who are going to look forward to your decision are also going to be disappointed. So now we can take the whole COVID-19 situation. In our country, we have so many people who have different opinions about it. But it's always about how you narrow down the problem and then you find a solution to it. When you analyze the problem, you will realize that there are little solutions that you can come up with, right? Those little solutions can obviously give a larger solution to the larger problem. So it's always about how you narrow it down and then you tackle one thing at a time. And then later on, you obviously have to trust your instincts, you have to trust the information that is around you, the reliability of them that led to you, for you to decide as a leader, okay, this is a solution that I can give you, right? So when you have the information right, when you have the temperament right, when you have your energy right, I don't think there is a single challenge in the world that can stop you. It's always about getting your mind to think, look, I got this and my team got this and I have to believe in the resources around me to tackle this problem. So people who belong to that second category, who sees problems as opportunities, will be the ones who will always change the world.
Wow, that was very interesting, and I hope everyone watching this will get some new points to look into in their future. So now moving on, why don't we look at your business point of view? So like I heard that you have been working in various companies. So tell us a bit more about your work life in those business fields and those companies.
Like I said, the reason I entered international business, before I go in there, actually was someone who started working very early.
Okay.
Right after A-levels, I started working in I would say a fast food outlet call center where I got the first level of experience, and then I started working as a office assistant. So I worked through almost all the levels of a hierarchy. And then I entered my third company actually, where I went on to be an executive. I was the youngest executive in that company. And then later on, now my recent job shift, I entered Hemas, where my current job position is. So in a work-life environment, I've always enjoyed being a rebel. Like I said, even I think that trait of being a rebel in school has also continued here, because I like change. I like
Yeah.
looking at things differently. I like changing things around.
So rebel in a good way.
Rebel in a good way, obviously not like picking up a board and saying no, I want these rights. No, but I'm someone who can't even sit in one place for 1 hour, right? So I want to travel around. I want to see like things, and I earlier thought it was honestly a problem with me when I can't, when I get like so many ideas into my head, so many different things, and one of the questions I get like most frequently asked these days is how do you manage your time? You're doing road track, you're doing news, you're working in HEMAS, and then I'm also currently doing my second masters. So
Okay.
like
That's a lot on your plate.
the question, and then I also travel. Before this COVID-19 came, I used to go on trips, and I used to manage meetings, and so all of that. So the question I always get is like, okay, how do you manage the work life and everything? I think the only thing that has worked so far, touch wood, it has worked so far, is the fact that I enjoy what I'm doing. I enjoy, when it comes to road track, I enjoy my role in road track, but I don't take my role in road track to HEMAS. I don't take my role in HEMAS to road track. No, I learn from the experiences, but I obviously enjoy my journey. Every little minute that I spent, I tried making it the happiest minute of my life. The little things matter and makes a big difference. One of the only things that I think I could have improved better is giving more time to the family. But right now, it's a little too hard to do because of the work commitments.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that I don't have any interactions. I try my level best to do that. So in a work environment, I think biggest factor for you to be successful is you need to be definitely happy about what you're doing.
Yes, very true.
It needs to be something that motivates you. If you wake up in the morning and if you don't feel like going to work, you better stay on bed, because there's no point of you going there. I read this very inspirational quote, little bit of controversial one. It said, "If you can't do it big, stay on bed." It makes sense because it definitely pushes you to do better in your corporate life, and even you as a person. And all of this adds into inspiring people around you. So I would say, in terms of work life, and probably if you extend it to other things also, if you're doing something, do it big, and if you're doing something, do it because you're happy about it. So,
yeah. So you mentioned the term "you as a person." So would you call yourself an entrepreneur, or would you want to become an entrepreneur? Like, what's your take on entrepreneurship?
I think telling the reality, I would, rather than an entrepreneur, I would say I'm a rebel and an opportunist.
Okay.
Because I see problems and I try my level best to solve it with the different solutions I can come with. Which obviously leads to a certain level of entrepreneurship. And I take so much pride and happiness in mentoring people around me. I want them to grow, and that is my biggest inspiration. So if I see someone that I know that probably doesn't have to be like someone close to me, someone who maybe doesn't like me at all, if I see that person doing better than yesterday, that honestly is my biggest inspiration. So I would say I won't define myself as a entrepreneur. I would say I'm more of an opportunist and a person who's still a little bit of a rebel, who try challenging the status quo, which kind of leads into entrepreneurship, because entrepreneurship is about you doing something better than it's done currently. That can be people oriented, that can be process oriented, or it could be planet oriented. So either way, yes, I think I'm better off as an opportunist than a rebel.
Okay, so currently, like in this day and age, we, especially in Sri Lanka, the youth gets a lot of blame, on social media, and there's like so many controversial decisions and so many controversial statements actually put out there by the youth in our country, and you obviously would get some of them abroad as well. So what's your take on that, and like how would you overcome these social media problems, how the youth are taking social media, especially in our country, like it's going really bad. So what's your take on that, and how would you advise them to use social media better, or What's your take on it?
So social media is probably the most, I would say, mainstream media now, where people either choose to spread positivity or spread negativity,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, there is a lot of negative traits about it. Obviously, people speak about, people use, most of them, they use social media to criticize people. They use social media to take people down. They try, being insulting. But imagine like all of this energy and all of this creativity. Now, before we go in there, Sri Lanka is one of the best countries when it comes to creativity. The amount of memes that comes on a daily basis, the instant changes. Like okay, let's say like a popular personality does a blunder somewhere, within a couple of minutes you will get the meme about it. We are that creative.
Yeah.
So imagine if you can use that creativity to spread positivity, right? We will be reaching like other destinations in the world, probably as the most inspiring location in the whole wide world. But our talents we've always used, especially in social media, we use them to criticize and to downgrade people. And we are more of a, I think this is a common statement that world has enough critics, but when it comes to people who wants to correct people and spread positivity, there is a very rarity you will find them. So I use my social media always to spread the little kindness that I can do, right? Because it always will be a circle. If I can inspire and if I can spread little bit of positivity and if I can appreciate another person, I know the next time that person goes and tries to take a person down, they will reconsider about it. But obviously we can't change the entire world. We can't change all the social media users there, because people are going to be having their set of values. But the little help that you can do to create a positive impact, especially through social media, I think is going to make a difference. If you take Sri Lanka right now, I think we have close to about 21 million people, 21.4 million people, and our mobile connections are almost 150% of that. So which means we have about 3 million mobile connections. So you will see how digitally connected we are, right? So imagine all of us being able to create some level of positivity through our social media and digital media. Even a little kind word to a person, the message that you message or a comment or a like or a reaction that you put on a person's social media interactions, if you can do it in a positive manner, trust me, you're going to help a lot as a person in terms of bringing some positivity into another person. I'll end my answer in one of the other ways. Look, all of us are going through battles of our own, right? We might not see those battles because we are very much self-centric. But if you can use, especially social media, to create positivity, if you can use social media to motivate another person, that little word of kindness, that little act of kindness can definitely make a day better for a lot of people. I've seen that happen, and I've had real life instances where like some things that I've posted, I've gotten personal messages saying, I really wanted to hear it, right? Mm-hmm. It can be a random stranger, I'm telling you, but that word of positivity can definitely inspire a lot of people, and it will help that person to get through the day. So I think social media is the best and the most powerful tool, if used in the right way, that we can bring about the change in the country and the people.
Yeah, so that was a very interesting take on that topic. So just to sum it all up, like what's any final advice or words you would like to give to our viewers?
Well, I'll just summarize in this way. Always you have to trust yourself. You have to trust the team around you. Be someone who always like to challenge the status quo, because it's boring being like someone who goes through the conventional process. And enjoy your journey, because this might be the last minute that we spend on earth, right? Make sure your last interaction with a person is a positive one. And obviously, while you do everything, work, your volunteerism, even when you speak, even when you talk, make sure like it's always about positivity and it's about happiness. And I don't know, for me, my biggest inspiration is always to live the next minute better than the minute that I lived before, right? And how do you gather it? It's all subject to all of us. So I think you have to challenge yourself, you have to challenge the status quo, and be happy in everything that you do. And obviously keep challenging the norm, because more times that we challenge the norm, more opportunities that we will create for others as well as for yourself. And last but not least, be proud about who you are, be proud about your journey, and appreciate yourself while appreciating that you are from this beautiful country of Sri Lanka, which is just a paradise of a nation.
That's very interesting and really wise words from Kasun. So I'm sure you'll do really great in your future, and I hope you wish you the very best in your future. And
Thank you very much.
and also hoping to see more good positive outcomes and projects from your end. So that's a wrap. That's a wrap, and I really enjoyed the time with Kasun, and I'm sure you all did as well. So that's a wrap from New Generation Youth on the Move, which is organized by Women in Management in collaboration with Daily Mirror Online. Thank you.